Looking live at Darien High School, which is the setting for this Varsity Boys basketball matchup here on the DAF Media Network. Today we have the Trumbull Eagles facing off against the Darien Blue Wave. Hello everyone, my name is Ted Brennan. Joining me alongside tonight is Braden Schenk. And tonight we have a really good matchup between the Trumbull Eagles, who are 4-2 coming into this matchup, and the Darien Blue Wave, who are 3-3. Both teams are 1-1 in the FCIAC, jostling for some position early on in the season. Braden, you have more on these dynamic duos for both teams.
Yeah, you know, both of these teams have some good depth to them, really. On the Trumbull side, more depth. Darien, only 3 players having scored in their game Tuesday against West Hill. But you just look at the two of the bigger dynamic duos. First for Trumbull, you have Connor Johnston, who we found out is out today with a injury, and then Ray Vicente, who averaged about 23 points a game for the Eagles. Then you look at the other side, you have Simeon Dahl and Carson Drake, who've just been red hot for the Blue Wave, putting up 185 points this year. So those are really the dynamic duos to look out for in this one.
Injury bug has been a problem for both of these teams. Braden, you mentioned Connor Johnston is out tonight with an ankle injury. That was a non-contact injury that he suffered in the Danbury game. Went up for a rebound, rolled his ankle. He is out tonight. And then as for Miles Drake, what's the situation with him?
So Miles Drake, he suffered an injury during the late of the football season. He's been out so far, missed every game for the Blue Wave this year. The rumor is he should be back within a week or two, but that's all rumors there. But he should be back before the end of the season, and it will definitely be a big player the Blue Wave would like to have back.
Drake has had a boot on for most of the week, but today he is out of the boot, which is a good sign for this Darien Blue Wave team, which desperately needs their leader back on the court. They've had a tough time scoring, and Braden, you mentioned something the other day in the West Hill game. How many Darien players scored in that game?
Only 3. You had Carson Drake, Simeon Dahl, and Kyle Bloomer, all having stellar games, but when you put up 54 points and only 3 of them, or only 3 players scoring there's a lot to be rumored there. And we talked before the game, free throws, a big thing that the Blue Wave worked on in practice going up to this week. They lost by 15. They missed 15 free throws, so head coach Roy Bentley and the Blue Wave definitely need to tighten that up if they want to come out with a win.
They also had a lot of trouble rebounding the basketball last game. West Hill was just monsters inside, offensive and defensive. But without Connor Johnston, Trumbull's going to have to dig deep and find someone who can help them get some boards, because this Darien team struggles with it, and if they get on the boards, they're a team to be messed with.
Yeah, especially when you have a guy like Carson Drake under the hoop who just gets the rebound, puts it right back up, and if he doesn't do that, he passes it out to Simeon Dahl, who puts the 3-ball up and makes a ton of them. So it should be an interesting one here.
We're going to take you live to the anthem and then to the tip, and we'll announce starting lineups in just a moment. Starting lineups for tonight for the visiting Trumbull Eagles. They will start with number 2, the senior captain, Ray Vicente. Number 3, Sean Reset. Number 5, Brandon Fowler. Number 15, Luca Antonio. And number 24, Will Zaslow, will start in place of the injured Connor Johnston. As for Darien, they were rocking the same lineup that they did on Tuesday night's game, with number 14, Simeon Dahl, number 21, Davis Depp, number 23, Carson Drake, number 24, Kyle Bloomer, and number 32, Austin Black. And Braden, we were talking a little bit about this earlier, this number 15, Luca Antonio for the Trumbull Eagles. He hasn't played much, but when he's played, he's been an absolute spark plug. He's dropped 20 points and 13 points in 2 games that he's played this season. This is only his 3rd game playing.
Yeah, it's something that kind of a mystery. The head coach, Buddy Bray, really hasn't played him all that much. Only 2 games played, 33 points. It's a great average on the paper number side, but I assume there might have been an injury or something there, but he's a great player, and he's going to be shining here tonight for the Eagles.
It should be interesting to see how this team, this Trumbull Eagles team, fills the void without Connor Johnston. And it will be Trumbull ball to start off. They win the tip. Here is Vicente.
That's something the Blue Wave needs to take advantage of. Will Zaslow starting in his place. Only 4 games played this year and 4 points. So that's much different than Connor Johnston. So the Blue Wave definitely need to capitalize at that position.
Swing the ball to the corner. Here's Vicente. Back up top. 3 ball. That's good.
It's Antonio.
Luca Antonio starting off the scoring. Maybe a little revenge game saying, Coach, I can score. Play me a little bit more.
And like I said, we said only 2 games played, this being his 3rd, and he comes out of the gate firing with that one.
Bloomer tried to swing it to the corner where Depp was waiting, but knocked out of bounds. It will remain with Darien. They get it into Drake. Charge called on Drake. That's his first personal.
And we mentioned Carson Drake's size, 6'3", 210, and he really just uses that to his advantage, gets to the hoop, puts the shot up, and it's the reason why he has 77 points this season. He just drives under the hoop.
The press doesn't work inside. Antonio, no good. Rebound by Trumbull, and a foul will be called on Bloomer. Darien getting into some early foul problems as that's Drake's second, actually, not on Bloomer. So Jack Barber will check in early, and that's a great sign for this Trumbull team, as you want to get the big fella down low into some foul trouble so Zaslow doesn't have too much of a problem with.
Especially, as we mentioned, only 3 players scored, and Carson Drake was one of them. If you potentially get him in foul trouble, the Blue Wave are going to need to rely on some different aspects and go into that depth.
Darien is going to need to find some extra scorers tonight, as that one is almost turned over, stolen by Dahl. Here's Dahl inside, no good. Might have gotten away with a travel, but regardless, the bucket is missed. Here are the Eagles. Antonio taking it strong inside, and he gets the friendly roll. Luca Antonio.
I do find it interesting that Trumbull's only taken 3 shots so far this game, and all 3 have been from Antonio. Really just showing how they use him and how they haven't had to use him in these last couple games.
Some good defense so far from the Eagles. Bloomer, fall-away shot, no good. Rebound, Vicente, and here come the Eagles. Bloomer makes up for the missed shot and steals the ball. And the Wave are charging. Corner. Up top, Depp. Pull up. That's no good. And a foul will be called on Trumbull. It will be on number 24, Will Zaslow. And if you're Darien, you want to get Zaslow in foul trouble early because that front line is thin for them.
Yeah, but we mentioned they have the depth, and in the case that Zaslow, potentially fouls out, that's once again getting ahead of ourselves. But they have the depth, and they've shown it really over these past 6 games. And Connor Johnston being out really hurts them and sets them back. But I feel like they can overcome it. It's a team that definitely has the other numbers to do so.
Liam McBride checks in for Austin Black. McBride last year struggled with playing time between injuries and just inconsistent minutes. He's looking for a bigger role this year. Inside, that's good. Liam McBride with 2.
Yeah, McBride, he actually didn't play in that West Hill game on Tuesday. The only game he hasn't played in this year. And as we talk about him, right on cue, he puts the basket up. But a nice fundamental basket from the Darien junior.
Nice little spark plug underneath, and it's stolen by the Wave. Here's Simeon Dahl with it now. Dahl, pull up from 3. Cash. Simeon Dahl with the 3. And that's just a good-looking shot there from Dahl.
Yeah, we mentioned he leads the team for Darien in 3 points made. That was his 15th on the season.
Inside is Zaslow. Gets it up and in.
He has such a smooth shot when he shoots it, and it was nothing but net right there from Simeon Dahl.
Barber using his body, the big fella down low, getting it to go off the assist from Dahl. Here's Antonio with it now. Little rolling pass. Barber says he didn't touch it, and the refs believe him, and it will be Darien ball. 7-7 the score early on in this game.
This Darien team is definitely playing with a lot more energy here in this last minute or so, something they kind of lacked early to start the game off and towards the end parts of the West Hill game.
Turnover there. Here's Reset. McBride gets a body on it, tips it out of bounds. But as you mentioned, Braden, this Darien team is playing with a lot more energy, and I think part of that has to do with that they know Johnston is out, and they know this is now a much more winnable game without that star player in.
And once again, it's all a matter of can they capitalize on that.
Swung to the corner. Good defense by the Wave. Drop-off pass from Vicente. It will be tipped as we take a look at that.
Kind of surprises me there from Vicente. That's his 4th turnover already for Trumbull, and he's just making some very risky passes and hasn't been able to convert them. And he's got to tighten that up if Trumbull wants to keep the slick play up and potentially stay in this game.
I wonder if part of it has to do with that he's missing his dynamic duo partner in Johnston, where Johnston is a bit taller than Zaslow, so he can kind of put it up higher for Johnston. As Bloomer gets into the lane, little floater, that's good. Kyle Bloomer.
I mean, it definitely appears that way, but on the roster, they're rostered both at 6'3".
Depp will load up for a 3, no good. Rebound by McBride. McBride puts it up, no good. Dahl will be credited with the steal. Depp misses on the 3. Inside, kicked out to Antonio. Antonio! Don't do him like that. That's another 3-point shot for Antonio.
It's his 2nd on the game already.
I was able to catch up with Davis Depp before the game, and I was telling him a little bit about this kid Antonio as the ball is stolen. Antonio again, that's no good, and it will stay with Trumbull. As we take a look at that Antonio 3, that's such a clean shot. But I was talking to Depp, and they were like, yeah, we don't really have much on him. He hasn't played much. But, the 2 games that he's played, we've mentioned it a bunch. He's scored it in bunches, and he continues his hot streak here.
And that's the thing. I mean, you look at the scouting report on him. He's a great shooter. He's got that nice fundamental shot. And that's going to be a jump ball there.
Possession arrow points Darien. As we take a look on that Reset 3-point attempt. This Trumbull team doesn't really shoot much from behind the arc, except when they're wide open. And one of the main shooters on this team, the sophomore sniper Ben Miller, he leads his team with 8 3-points made.
Yeah, Ben Miller, he's just a sophomore, and he's got another good shot. He's a good ball handler. He's got the quick alertness on the court, and we haven't really seen him so far in this one. He's not even, oh, there he is. He's on the court now, but yeah, we didn't really see him to start the game.
The give and go between Black and Bloomer doesn't work. And now we see more of that thin Trumbull front court with Kieran O'Sullivan checking in. He's 6'6", as is Austin Black for this Darien team. Both 2 very skinny players, to say the least, in that front court.
You also look at the stat sheet on O'Sullivan. He has only played in 2 games this year and has not scored in 21 days for the Trumbull Eagles.
Antonio tried to see if the bank was open. It's closed right now, as Dahl will grab the rebound, and he will airball that 3. May have forced it up. So we take a look at that. Antonio went for the steal. Dahl maybe thought he got fouled. But regardless, the refs confer.
I'm wondering wondering what they were conferring on there because there was no call, but someone was yelling something.
I believe it was one of the assistant coaches for the Eagles, whether that was Matt Landon or Eric August. Here's Miller with it now, guarded by Galoo, who checked in. Good poke away. Here's Dahl. Dahl. That's good. Simeon Dahl. He's got 5 now, but it was all made by that good steal from Galoo.
That's a great hustle play right there from Simeon Dahl to put the basket up and not give away and run down on it. See that they were, doing a little bit of a lazy inbound and force the pressure and get the ball right back to the Blue Wave.
Depp will check in for Bloomer. And a very tight game here to start. Dahl will load up for another 3. That's good, Simeon Dahl. He's got 8.
And that actually right there, 8 points. That is his 200th career varsity points for Simeon Dahl. And his career's just getting started. He's still got another year and a half for the Blue Wave.
Galoo will pick up the foul, his first. Dahl tried to go for the steal on Antonio, no good. Antonio will find Reset. Kick out to the corner. Miller, no good. Rebound, Barber. And Galoo will have it at the half circle.
It was a quick release from Miller there. He timed it or put a little too much on it and just missed it. But he's going to keep shooting that all game for the Eagles.
Dahl, tough shot, no good. Rebound, Antonio, tipped pass. Ryan Elmo Jr. loads up from the corner, air ball 3 right to Simeon Dahl. Braden, he can shoot those, that time just a little long.
Yeah, Elmo Jr., another guy that has 4 3-points made on the season, and he's got another one of those just nice shots, and that one a little too much on it.
Dahl, no good. Rebound inside, up and in from Jack Barber. Barber's got 4 now.
That's going to make all the difference in this game is who can get those clutch rebounds and put them back up. Darien having the advantage with Johnston out, so they need to capitalize and, get the rebounds as Barber just did right there.
Galoo will pick up his second. It will be the 4th foul for Darien. Owen Wagner will now check in for the Blue Wave, as will Matt Hellman. We didn't really see Hellman until late in that game in the West Hill game. More of a defensive specialist. Owen Wagner more on the offensive side of things, as Wagner will pick up the reach-in foul. That's the 5th foul on Darien. Wagner's first.
Darien needs to calm down a little bit here. They're only 7 minutes into this game, or just about 8 minutes, and they already have 5 fouls in the half, so they got to take it a lot less aggressive next quarter if they want to stay out of the bonus for Trumbull. So we haven't seen any free throws yet from either side.
3-pointer, no good. That was Miller in the corner. After one, Darien leads 16-10 here on the DAF Media Network. We will take a short break and we'll bring you second quarter action in just a moment.
We are DAF Media, Darien's hometown source for sports, arts, and entertainment, established in 2017. We Are Community, a volunteer-based organization that gives nearly 50 Darien High School students hands-on experience in video production. We Are Cutting Edge, a STEM initiative. Students use cameras, computers, sound equipment, and innovative software. We Are Live, streaming 120 events per year on our YouTube channel. We Are On the Stage. We Are At the Big Games. We Are
Back here on the DAF Media Network, I'd like to remind everyone that the DAF Media Network is a joint venture between the Darien Foundation and the Darien Athletic Foundation. After one, the Wave lead 16-10. but the Eagles are hot on their tails. And Braden, as you mentioned, that first quarter was filled with fouls for Darien, and they need to clean that up.
Yeah, they do, and it was something we saw in the second half of the West Hill game where they got, I think, 7 fouls in the third quarter, and really the last 8 minutes of the game, West Hill was just, shooting free throws every foul they got, basically. So that's something that Darien needs to avoid here yet this game. Here yet again, rather.
Trumbull moving the ball around the perimeter, trying to find the open shot. Antonio loses it, as does Dahl. Into the corner for a reset. Back out to Vicente. Don't leave Antonio open. That's good. Luca Antonio on fire to start this game.
11 points of the 13 Trumbull points coming from Antonio. That's his third 3 of the game.
Black uses the body and gets it in. Austin Black, not really a focal point of this offense, but he might be tonight with Zaslow starting instead of Johnston.
Once again, we've been talking about needing to capitalize on that, and Austin Black is definitely the guy to be doing that, has the height, has the ability, and I think he's been doing it so far tonight.
And a double dribble will be called on Brandon Fowler, another sophomore for this team. This Trumbull Eagles team, Brandon, is very young. What is the breakdown?
Yeah, so they have 2 seniors, 5 juniors, 6 sophomores, and 1 freshman. And a big part of that is last year the Eagles rostered 12 players, 10 of which left them. 8 graduated, and 2 of them left the team for other reasons, including Johnny McCain, who went to the Canterbury private school, a great player for the Eagles that they lost. And something they definitely had to adapt to a brand new team this year for head coach Buddy Bray.
And 1 Simeon. Dahl puts in his 10th points of the night. Honestly, looking a little like Kyle Bloomer from that last game against West Hill. Kyle Bloomer in the fourth quarter alone had 4 and 1s. But now is the big test for this Darien team, the free throws. You mentioned it earlier, had a tough time, and we'll see how it starts out. Dahl will put that one in for his 11th point.
It's a good start right there if you're head coach Troy Bentley, starting the free throws 1 for 1. Still a long game left, but definitely is already better than that West Hill game on the line.
Here's Antonio with it now. Tough pass. Antonio again. Misses. We have not seen a lot of that from Antonio tonight, and if you're Darien, you'd love to see more of that.
Yeah, it's his 5th three-point attempt in this one.
Black, a little spin shot, no good, and he'll pick up the foul.
I think Black was saying that he was trying to call timeout when he was tangled up and wasn't given the timeout by the ref. But once again, foul trouble. That's the team's 6th foul just in the first 12 minutes in this one.
And a timeout will be called, I believe, by the Eagles. 30-second timeout. It is called by the Trumbull Eagles. And Braden, from what you're seeing from this Trumbull team, what do they need to do to climb out of this 8-point hole?
I think they definitely got to get more guys involved. You have Luca Antonio, who's having a nice game, but when you have 13 points and 11 of which come from Antonio, you got to get more depth that we've been talking about, the depth they have. Ben Miller has to start to get some of the shots to go. They have Reset, who has only taken 1 shot, but they need to get the depth going. It can't all be, the Darien Blue Wave versus Luca Antonio.
Going to give a quick shout out to our production crew, main camera Owen White, our ISO camera Luke Damel, our director Will Damel, our instant replay Hugh DeMark, our graphics Will Donnelly, our advisor Damian Andrew. For those of you just joining us, my name's Ted Brennan alongside Braden Schenk. We have a great call so far in this game. Darien leads by 8, 21-13.
Trumbull's going to come out of the timeout here firing.
Antonio puts up a bucket. Antonio now with 13.
That's exactly what head coach Buddy Bray was looking for out of the timeout. His team have some, a new life. And they do right there, a quick possession and a quick basket for Antonio.
Black Off the dish, dishes it down to Barber. Beautiful dime from Austin Black, and Barber has 6 now.
It's a big difference I'm seeing right now is this Blue Wave team is playing a lot more like a team out there. It was someone was going up for the shot there, I believe Dahl, and he knew he wasn't going to make it, so he dished it off to Barber, who set it home. Something that if you looked at the West Hill game, that one player was going for the shot and would just take the shot even if he was contested. So a different mindset out there, and Trumbull will now shoot free throws.
Dahl gave it into Black, and Black dished it off to Barber. That was a nice dish there. And Reset will go to the line, shooting 2. We're actually shooting the 1-and-1, makes the first.
Yeah, they're now in bonus.
Second one is good for Reset. And I'm sure that's got to feel pretty good for him just to see the ball go through the basket. Sometimes that's all it takes for a good score to get started.
Yeah, Reset, I mean, he's a pretty good free throw shooter at 71%. Drains both of them there, and nice little advantage there for the Eagles this early in the game.
Bloomer cross-court pass to Depp, and Depp will reset it. Depp, kick out. Back up top to Dahl. Dahl tried to go inside, stolen away. Dahl just tried to force that one down low, but Depp, quick hands. Here comes Depp. Sidesteps, but will go to the line for 2.
It was a good attempt there from Davis Depp. He was being double teamed, threw the shot up and just rimmed it out. But Depp is only 2 free throws made on the season. Not sure how many he's attempted.
Misses that one. As Brian Elmo Jr. will check in for the Eagles.
Does have a nice set of hair, Elmo Jr. checking in.
And Depp will miss the second empty trip from the line. Corner is Miller, not going to take it. Antonio, dish off. Good defense by the Wave. Kyle Bloomer getting down low. And Black will be credited with the steal, gets the tip. Wave come the other way. And Dahl.
Once again, there on the defense, you saw Austin Black and Kyle Bloomer really, guarding, I believe it was Zaslow, very tough on it. And once again, playing like a team out there, putting all their resources against him and forcing the turnover. And they're going to have an opportunity here to score.
Some extended minutes from this Darien front court with Carson Drake on the bench right now. Bloomer inside, that's good. Kyle Bloomer, he's got 4.
Nice hook shot there from Bloomer. Not an easy shot to make, but he made it look easy.
Got a hand on that one. And good defense by the Wave. As you take a look there, Davis Depp's going to get his hand in there, knock it off of the leg of Miller. And just a great hustle play there by Davis Depp.
Also a good IQ play there to notice that Miller was around and get a touch off of the Trumbull sophomore, giving the ball right back to the Blue Wave.
Darien will look to make it at least 10, possibly 11. Dahl, 3, in and out. That one was halfway down and came right back up.
Yeah, I'd say, you just got to keep shooting that if you're Simeon Dahl. Foul on the Blue Wave.
Take a look at that one. Just a rebound inside by Zaslow, and Barber got his hand caught in the cookie jar.
Yeah, they're going to be shooting.
McBride will come in for Black.
Still in the 1-and-1 territory.
Antonio takes a break. And for Darien, you want to capitalize on Antonio being on the bench, as he's got, what is it now, 15 of, or 13?
Right? Yep, 13 still. 2 free throws.
Zaslow, bank is open, hits the high part of the glass, and senior captain John Fiorita will check in for the Wave. He's a spark plug off the bench, an eat glass and wood type of player, diving for every loose ball. Cannot say enough about Johnny Hustle's hustle.
And Johnny Cash.
Johnny Cash. We'll see if he can find the bottom of the net from the three-point land tonight. He's had a rough stretch. Zaslow puts up 2 from the line, cutting this lead down to 6. Bloomer, little crossover move inside. That's good, Kyle Bloomer.
Once again, Bloomer asserting his dominance in the paint, using his height, putting the shot up and making it.
McBride with the kickball. Just some good defense there, even though he wasn't credited with the steal, just getting some body part on it. Stops momentum.
Forces Trumbull to throw it back in and can't really hustle it up.
Here's Reset, gives it up to Miller in the half circle. Tried to get it to Miller in the corner, but good Darien defense. Darien in a modified 2-3 zone, 1-2-1, or 1-3-1 zone. Darien bench is getting hyped.
As they should. They're playing tight defense here.
Here's Reset. Step back over Fiorita. No good. Long rebound for Bloomer, stolen by Elmo. And Bloomer's going to get called for the foul.
I think they were looking for a travel potentially on Elmo, but the refs didn't see that.
Elmo Jr. will head to the line.
1-1 still, so the Blue Wave got to be alert on that, as I bet they are.
Hits the first.
5 for 5 these Eagles are at the free throw line. That's I'm just curious how much longer they can keep it going.
I mean, the announcer curse might strike here. As it does. The announcer curse, Mr. Shank. As Dahl will have it on the near side wing. Finds Fiorita. Little motion offense for this Darien Blue Wave team. Bloomer. Bloomer will head to the line. Actually, no, he won't. It'll just be a simple reach-in foul on Brian Elmo Jr.
It's almost like they call the holding on the floor on Elmo.
McBride, spin move, no good. Jump ball, possession arrow.
I think they might have called a foul on that.
Let's take a look there, just unable to get that to go.
Yeah, I think they did
Will
call.
be a foul. Foul on McBride.
55, Liam McBride, his first, team 10th. Trumbull will shoot 2.
Team's 10th, Trumbull going to the line 4-2.
So now Trumbull in that double bonus. The 2 guaranteed shots for Fowler.
That's no good. Fowler shoots 66% from the line. As Isaac McMullen will check in for John Fiorita. Coach Bentley using a lot of that bench he has, trying to get it more depthful as Black will get the rebound.
Nice drive from Simeon Dahl there. Seeing an open lane, taking advantage of it. Taking advantage of a Trumbull team that's really kind of having to adjust without Johnston.
Dahl has got 13 in this game. And Miller will be called for the offensive foul. Got that arm fully extended as we take a look at the Dahl up and in. And we mentioned this in Tuesday's stream, but Dahl has really taken over the scoring load with Miles Drake being out. He's upped his scoring from last season and been a wonderful, wonderful fill-in player. I mean, not even fill-in player. He is
a leader out there on the offense. 108 points entering play today. Has, what, 11 tonight?
13. Bloomer no good. Rebound by Fowler. Here come the Eagles. Little crossover move. Corner three. No good. Rebound by Dahl.
Once again right there, McMullen and it was McMullen and Dahl, I believe. Once again, double teaming. Barber also having to add into for the triple team.
Dahl with 15 now.
Just doing everything they can to pressure Trumbull and really force them to make the risky passes and put up the risky shots that they haven't been able to make today.
Darien up 11 right now with a little over 30 seconds remaining in this half. Inside, here's Reset, blocked. Austin Black getting a lanky arm on that shot, saying no.
That is the scouting report on Reset. He does have a elusive long stride that he likes to use to get to the hoop. And he got to the hoop, but Darien made the stop.
And Dahl will be called for the foul. Dahl was looking for a bit of a flop, but it is a charge, so they're not going to go to the line because it won't count. Obviously, charges don't count as team fouls. They count as personal fouls only. Antonio has checked back into the game. I wonder if Trumbull wants to get him for the last shot. Here's Reset up top.
Barber's going to be playing tight D on Antonio.
Fowler, little pull-up jumper, no good to end the half. 31-20 the score here on the DAF Media Network. Darien leads by 11 going into the half. And Braden, what have you seen from these two teams so far?
I think first starting with Darien, they've definitely shown their depth, and they've been using their depth, something that they struggled with in that West Hill game, bringing guys like McMullen and Fiorita Hellman, couple others that Owen Wagner, the other big one. They've really been showing their depth off. A lot of guys scoring for them. And then for Trumbull, they still are getting adjusted without Connor Johnston. Will Zaslow, they've been making the bad passes to him. He's taken a couple shots and has converted one of them. But I think they got to adjust, and that's going to be a big emphasis for head coach Buddy Beal's locker room. Is you got to play without a man, and they're not out of it, but they do got to get it going.
If there's anything that Buddy Bray knows, is he knows basketball. He's been at Trumbull for 33 years, so I'm sure he can figure this out, figure out how to implement an offense without Connor Johnson. We're going to take a break for halftime. We'll be back with the second half in just a while.
The technology upgrades provided by the Darien Foundation has been a game changer for us. It's allowed us to improve our training. It has helped us hone our skills. Thanks to our partnership with the Darien Foundation, who's provided all this technology and several grants throughout the years, we're able to continue to be prepared to respond whenever you need it.
I'd like to thank the Darien Foundation for their continued support. They've been a wonderful partner, and they've taken this vision that we've had for this property and make it a reality.
Thanks to the Darien Foundation, we have this amazing new van, and we are so excited about it and what it'll do for the community.
This is going to be a real improvement in the services we provide. The Darien Foundation is important to the community in the scope that they reach out to answer needs.
It's important for people to be proud of where they live and to understand that if they want a better society, that they need to fund places like the Darien Foundation and the places like the Mather Homestead, because they're so rich in cultural achievements that it makes it a better place to live.
Celebrating and supporting Darien athletes. That is a simple mission of the Darien Athletic Foundation. Broadcasting live from the field, DAF Media covers 125 games a year. All Darien teams, our youth, in our town, on our fields. Fields like the Center Oval and Upper Oval turfs, the JV softball field, and Stadium East, the longest turf in New England, all made possible by the Darien Athletic Foundation and its generous founders and donors. The Darien Athletic Foundation is not just committed to building our town's athletic infrastructure, it's improving the civic infrastructure for everyone to enjoy. The multimedia scoreboard, the snack bar pavilion, and the stadium lights, a $750,000 investment that makes Darien High School just the second school in Connecticut with LED lights. The Darien Athletic Foundation board is made up of local parents who know just how quickly it goes by. Its archives of more than 60,000 photos capture those precious moments of our young athletes as they strive to be their very best. The Darien Athletic Foundation has raised almost $9.5 million for our town and its kids, and it's not stopping there, as it continues to build a legacy for our youth as bright as their future, both on and off the field.
This is David Genovese, founder of Corbin Cares. Corbin Cares Phase 2, in partnership with the Darien Foundation, was launched to support the people who support Darien. Corbin Cares partnered with the Darien Foundation to thank essential workers, teachers, police officers, firefighters, EMTs, town employees, and postal workers who stepped up during the pandemic. Family meals for 4 were provided by 4 Forks, Bodega, Michael Joseph's, 1020 Post, and Parlor Pizza and Wine. Post 53 was treated to a tacos and waffles night with Bodega and the Waffle Cabinet. Thanks to countless donors, 910 family dinners for 4 and 110 posties were served. And the Corbin Cares office was flooded with notes, emails, and letters of gratitude. Thanks to the essential workers and generous donors, you are all that make this community great.
We are DAF Media, Darien's hometown source for sports, arts, and entertainment, established in 2017. We are Community, a volunteer-based organization that gives nearly 50 Darien High School students hands-on experience in video production. We are Cutting Edge, a STEM initiative. Students use cameras, computers, sound equipment, and innovative software. We are Live, streaming 120 events per year on our YouTube channel. We are On the Stage. We are At the Big Games. We are On the Field. We are In the Gym. We are On the Move, live streaming not only in Darien, but throughout southwestern Connecticut and the tri-state area. We are making a difference. We are DAF Media. This broadcast is produced by DAF Media, a joint venture between the Darien Foundation and the Darien Athletic Foundation. The production is staffed by student and adult volunteers from the town of Darien and southwestern Connecticut.
Back here on the DAF Media Network, once again, I'm Ted Brennan alongside Braden Shank, and a little halftime update for you guys. Once again, the score is 31-20 in favor of the Blue Wave, and a lot of that has to do with Simeon Dahl. And Braden, let's get into a little bit of comparison between the two players of Simeon Dahl and Luca Antonio.
Yeah, they've really been the two main players in this one. You see the comparison right there. Great job by our crew to bring you that one. Antonio, 13 points for 13 of Trumbull's 20, and you have Simeon Dahl with 15 for Darien. They're two just big three-point threats. You have Antonio with 3 and Simeon with 2. But like I said, they're just two great ball players, and it's going to be more of the same in the second half.
For Trumbull, if you're Trumbull, having Luca Antonio score 13 is great and all, but you only put up 20. That's 7 points spread across the rest of the team. How do you get them more involved?
I think you just got to keep giving them shots, keep having them get shots, get the rebounds, try it again. And because like I said, we've been mentioning Connor Johnson, one of their big scorers, is out tonight. They need to adjust to that and find new scores, maybe scores that haven't been working for them this season if they want to have any chance in beating the Blue Wave today.
Johnston is the team's leading scorer with 13.5. That's a big miss for this Trumbull team. And against smaller defenders, Johnston showed that he can ball out. In the Stratford tournament game that he played, he was named the tournament MVP with 22 points and 12 rebounds in that game. And they are missing him a lot tonight.
Yeah, but like I said, there's still 16 minutes left to play in this one, and it's anyone's game.
Carson Drake is back in for the Wave after sitting out almost the entirety of the first half with foul trouble. We'll see if he can stay out of foul trouble early on. No good there. Rebound, Black. Black up and under. Gets the foul called, and Austin Black will head to the line for 2.
It's a great play by the big man under the hoop, Austin Black. Great job to get the rebound, force the foul, and head to the line. Looking to pick up the first points for the Blue Wave in the half.
Teams first for Trumbull be on or set, I believe. Black will miss the first. He will hit the second one.
You can definitely tell Black or Austin knew what he did wrong on the first free throw, and he took that extra second, regrouped, and made the second one. A great play by a good ball player for the Blue Wave.
Bit of an unconventional shot, kind of loads up, really kind of like puts that ball over his head, and then kind of almost like a trebuchet, just like floats it towards the hoop, or flings it towards the hoop as Antonio hits another one.
I mean, that's the other thing Trumbull's got to keep in mind is Antonio is hot right now. If you just keep feeding him, he might just keep making it. But that's a lot to ask for just a junior for the Eagles.
Bloomer called for the travel. That's his second turnover of the night.
Trumbull sideline up out of their chairs, trying to instruct the players. Longtime head coach Buddy Bray doing just that.
And Braden, you mentioned just keep feeding Luca Antonio. If he's this good as a junior, after not playing for 3 straight games, just imagine how good he's going to be as a senior next year.
Yeah, that's something that Trumbull, I think, is just waiting to happen, and something that I think they can really use, especially the fact that this is mainly a junior and sophomore heavy team. They're only graduating 2 players this fall with Varsity and Johnston. So Trumbull could be looking to be a powerhouse next year in the FCIAC.
That was the expectation for this Darien team. They have a lot of guys who have had tons of varsity experience. As Black misses that one, long rebound, Dahl up and in, no good. But as I was saying, this is something that a lot of people thought Darien was going to be. They thought they were going to be a huge powerhouse, as Drake will be called for the foul.
I think he's saying he got his hands up, and it did kind of look like he did, but the ref disagreed with him, sending Vicente to the line.
Vicente will go to the line. Drake, his third, he'll come out, and Barbara will come in. But this is something, this Darien team was supposed to be a bit of a powerhouse as Vicente misses the first, because you have a guy like a Carson Drake who's played 4 years, starting all 4 years. You have a guy like Miles Drake who, when healthy, has played all 4 years, or is about to play all 4 years starting, probably starting next week. But, you know, and then you have guys like Johnny Fiorita, Kyle Bloomer, Owen Wagner, Davis Depp, Jack Barber. All of these guys have gotten plenty of varsity experience, and they're a deep, deep team in regards of experience. But right now they're sitting at 3-3, kind of middle of the pack team, and we're wondering, and most people in the FCIAC are wondering when they're going to put it all together. Does that happen when Miles Drake comes back, or, you know, what happens when Miles comes back? Are they a better team, or do they kind of stay in this middle of the pack, middling area?
What I do find interesting, though, it's a good point there, is Darien's a good team at capitalizing when they need to. They beat Norwalk last Saturday to win their first conference game, and the Bears were actually without their top 2 players for COVID reasons, Pollard and Cam Edwards. But the Blue Wave did a great job of heading into Norwalk, taking advantage of that, and coming away with a win. And
Dahl from the corner.
And it's kind of a similar situation today with Trumbull without Connor Johnston. And I think so far the Blue Wave have done a good job of trying to capitalize on that and take advantage of the lack of a star player.
Vicente will load up for 3. That's no good. Long rebound, Dahl. That's Dahl's 5th rebound of the evening. When this Darien team is fully healthy, they are a force to be reckoned with in the FCIAC, as Dahl will hit another one.
He's just an electric player out there, and he brings the energy into any gym. He just throws the 3 up. It is so smooth. Just nothing but net from Simeon Dahl.
Dahl with 21 right now. Turnover there. Here comes Bloomer to Dahl in the corner. Just a little too far for Dahl. Bloomer also has 5 boards tonight. Deep 3. That's a bit of a heat check there for Dahl. But you also don't mind that, as he's hot.
Yeah, just, you know, keep having him shoot. The more the better. And like I said, you still have a long season to go, and you just want to get him the reps out there taking the 3s. And he's so far been paying off tonight, and hopefully this is the first of just many more games, some stellar games from Simeon Dahl to come.
Antonio, that's good. And a bucket there. That's another, or that's a 2 from Antonio. A long 2 from Antonio. But that will cut the lead down to 13. It's a full timeout. But quickly, I want to talk a little bit about Miles Drake. I was able to catch up with him the other day, and he talked about his return to the court, which should be in the next couple of days, hopefully for this Darien team. And I was talking to him about the fit and the return back to play after not playing for a while. And he says, I think the return should be pretty seamless. I've been playing with these guys all spring and summer for fun and to get ready for the season. I think our chemistry was built during those days, and it should show when I get back out there. I love everybody on the team and can't wait to get back playing. And I think that just shows how much of a leader he is, where, you know, all that chemistry that was built up in the summer and in the spring is definitely showing here.
Yeah, I mean, that's a veteran thing to say, coming from a veteran player. He was a captain last year as a junior, and I do think that, you know, they've been missing him out there, but you can definitely tell that they're playing more like a team out there. And once you add him back in there, the Darien just really becomes a powerhouse that other teams need to, you know, really kind of take seriously when they go into their matchups with Darien. And I mean, he could turn the Jets on any game and put up double digits and really make the difference on the scoreboard. I mean, you look at that West Hill game, 15 points. If Miles is playing there, he has the ability to put up those 15 points and make that a lot closer of a game.
And Braden, you keep saying over and over again that this Darien team is playing a lot like a team, and that's one of the things that Miles said when I caught up with him. He said everyone is bought into the system and holds everyone accountable. As Depp with a fancy move, or excuse me, that was Bloomer with the fanciness. Kyle Bloomer with a little jelly layup.
Once again, you see it right there. West Hill, only a couple players scored here today. A lot of players are scoring, and the bench is getting into it, really, you know, hyping the team up, and it definitely adds an atmosphere here to the Blue Wave.
As is the Darien faithful. I don't know if the viewers at home can hear this. Blocked inside by Black. With the Darien faithful stomping on the bench, chanting defense. As Reset will line up for three. That's no good. Long rebound, Antonio. And one for Antonio. As we take a look at that one, the foul will be called on Barber. And Antonio gets it up and in.
His 19th points of the game, looking to make it an even 20.
Barber is second. Antonio will go to the line, shooting one. But as I was saying, Miles said that everyone is bought into the system, everyone holds everyone accountable, and that's been a problem for this Darien team over the last couple of years with some coaching turnover and just, you know, some locker room stuff, is that they've had trouble getting everyone to be on the same page. And for, you know, a leader like Miles to say that, that is huge for this Darien team.
Yeah, it definitely was. Back a couple years ago, I think they went 1-19 or something. You can definitely tell.
And one from Simeon Dahl.
That was the 2019-20 season, or something went wrong, and last year they brought head coach Troy Bentley back. Miles Drake stepped up as a captain. You can tell they started to turn things around the shortened season, 5-7, and that's a preview for what's going to happen this year. I feel like it could be a exciting season for the Blue Wave.
During that 1-19 season, I was a part of that Darien team, being a captain alongside Ben Olson and Jackson Leone, and you know, seeing the difference from that 1-19 season to this, or to last season to this season, the chemistry has just grown throughout these teams, or throughout this team, as a good feed from Dahl. Got his own rebound after the miss and dished it off to Black for two.
This is good defense here from the Blue Wave, playing the press, easing off a little, really forcing Trumbull to make the errors, the careless errors.
And Galoo will be called for the foul. That's his third. McMullen will check in. So we take a look at that beautiful feed inside. That's something Galoo has got to get better at, is he's got to keep himself under control. You can kind of see him on the bench now, just a little upset with himself or the call. But regardless, got to clean it up a little bit. Good give and go. Vicente unable to finish, gets his own board underneath. Three ball. Antonio no good. Another rebound. But it will go. Darien ball, just unable to handle that was Will Zaslow.
You look at a player like Ray Vicente, who's just been such an impact player for the Eagles, scoring anywhere between 6 to 15 points for them, and he's only been kept to one so far. Actually, two, my apologies, for the Eagles. So it's definitely a big thing that Trumbull really has to deal with out.
So we take a look here. McBride just unable to handle that ball. It will go Trumbull's way. McMullen had the tough task the other night, being subbed in with cold legs, or cold but fresh legs, and having to guard Jason Slade for West Hill. And Slade can fly up and down the court, but McMullen was trying to match him step for step as Miller airballs that three, and McBride picks up the rebound. But that's what McMullen does. A situational player, comes in when he needs to, adds a bit of a speed element to this Darien roster.
Yeah, indeed, and I think you can definitely tell they're playing like a different team out here, the Blue Wave.
Dahl no good. Same team. Rebound from Darien off their hands. Inside, up and under finish, no good. Rebound by the Wave. Oh, Davis Depp makes a man fall. Dahl in the corner, no good. Can't finish the highlight.
Still a good sequence there, and you know they're not able to convert the basket. But another big stop for the Wave.
Take a look here. Black is going to get called for the foul. Braden, I think this crowd would have gone crazy if Simeon was able to finish the highlight off of Depp, making Vicente fall to the ground.
Yeah. I definitely think that's something that Trumbull would not have been happy with, and especially the fact that Darien would have the momentum really for the late parts in this game. And you mentioned it, the fan base is getting into it, something that this Blue Wave, gym and this team has not seen in a while. This has been known as a place that opposing teams can come into and get wins at, and it's really just been a different atmosphere here tonight for the Blue Wave faithful.
Reset goes 2 of 2 from the line. But Braden, you mentioned that Darien has struggled to keep home floor advantage. Part of that has been with COVID and not having their regular fan base here, as McBride will travel.
But it's a big thing. You look at the FCIAC, and you look at the FCIAC perennial powerhouse in the Richfield Tigers, and Tiger Hollow, I mean, that gym is one of the toughest places to go in there, and just mentally having to play through there. And I think Darien's, trying to build that sort of atmosphere in here, but definitely starts with good play on the court.
Good hustle by Depp. They're going to call him out of bounds. He thought he was in the air, but went over the line. But Braden, you mentioned Tiger Hollow, one of the toughest places to play in all of the FCIAC. Both of these teams know the place well. And for Darien, it's been a while since they've gone to Tiger Hollow and come out with a win, and that just shows the strength of that Ridgefield Tigers program. Darien lost to Ridgefield last year in the FCIACs, and Ridgefield went on to become the eventual FCIAC champions.
Darien's lucky enough to play them at home this year, here in the coming weeks.
And a fadeaway bank shot from Sean Reset.
4 points for Reset in the game. A bit below average for him.
Turnover there from Dahl. Eagles have numbers. Little bounce pass to Miller, no good. Rebound Black. Here's McMullen. A streaking Bloomer. No look pass and in. Woo!
Another turnover.
Dahl in the corner. Long rebound, Antonio. Dahl has gone a little cold here in the second half, or as the second half, or the third quarter expires, Miller gets it in. Beautiful feed there from Antonio. Nobody around Miller, gets it up and in. And we will go to the fourth quarter where Darien has a 13-point lead. Back in a moment. Back here on the DAF Media Network, the Blue Wave have a 13-point lead over the Trumbull Eagles. And Braden, I mean, we were talking about it after the end of the third quarter. They are playing like a different team today.
Yeah, I think it was definitely the big cap, on the tip of the ice. I'm not even sure what you call it. The icing on the cake. That's what it is. When Ben Miller went down, missed the easy layup, and Darien quickly turned the momentum back in their favor, streaking it down with Bloomer, who put the layup up. So they're definitely playing and forcing Trumbull to make a lot of careless errors, and it's definitely a scared Trumbull team out there.
Turnover there from the Wave. Here's Antonio with it. Been a little quiet this second half. Not as explosive as his first half.
Ben Miller's been a player kept off the stat sheet for Trumbull.
Antonio, I was about to say right on cue, but misses another three-pointer. Here's Bloomer with it now. Dishes it to Black. Back to Bloomer.
Darien's going to try to just keep the ball moving around. They're in no rush whatsoever.
Blocking foul. Depp goes down hard. Elmo Jr. gets called for the foul. Depp will head to the line, 4-2. He missed both earlier in the game.
Second for Elmo. Let's see if Depp can convert these free throws.
Short on the first. Don't want to see that. And now we get to see the pairing of Carson Drake and Jack Barber down low. Haven't seen much of that this year. Saw a lot of it last year. And Depp goes 0 of 2 from the line again with Reset grabbing the board. Long three from Miller. That's no good. Rebound goes to the Eagles. Foul will be called there.
Trumble's starting to get some of these rebounds, but it's really been the differentiating factors. Darien has been getting a majority of these rebounds, both offensive and defensively. And it's really forcing Trumbull to, you know, crispen up all the play and not make as many errors.
Barber picks up his third. But, you know, Braden, you know, as a travel is called there. You mentioned the rebound game, which was a struggle for the Darien team in their Tuesday matchup against West Hill, with Chris Renee and Aaron Lamoth grabbing a ton of boards. But today, the absence of Connor Johnston is being felt as a charge is called on Dahl there. That's his second.
It's an interesting call. He didn't really go that hard into the Trumbull player, but the ref saw something different and made the call on it.
Dahl's been called twice on that tonight. Antonio, no good. Besides that long two, I think he's been held off the stat sheet in the second quarter or in the second half.
He's had a couple baskets. I think he had 13 or so going in the half. He's up to 20 or 19. So he's had a couple baskets, but he's not made a three. It's all just been the short 2-pointers.
Dahl getting shifty with it. Bloomer will line up for three.
His foot was on the line.
And I think an over the back is going to be called on Carson Drake. Bloomer hit a three in his last game. You know, not really known for the three-point shot, but he can hit it.
And Carson's going to come out of the game. I think that almost is, I mean, I don't want to say it's better for the Blue Wave, but I think it shows their depth more. The fact that Carson Drake, you know, isn't playing all that much this game, and they're still going out here having one of their best games of the season, 46 points, holding a tough Trumbull team, and only 33 so far. Really just showing their depth of Bloomer, Barber, Austin Black. You got Simeon, who's having a great game, and then, of course, Davis Depp and the many others.
Elmo Jr. will head to the line for the 1-and-1, officially in the bonus. For a Darien team that's been in a lot of foul trouble today, Trumbull has not really capitalized too much on these free throws.
No, especially, you know, after we kind of overhyped them starting 5 for 5 from the line. Elmo hits the first one there. He did make his first one his last trip to the line, but he missed the second one. But he makes them both.
Timeout Trumbull. They're going to talk it over. They're down 11. It's a 30-second timeout. And while we have a 30-second timeout, let's pull up this graphic of Coach Buddy Bray. Braden, you want to talk about more?
Yeah, Coach Buddy Bray is the longtime head coach for the Trumbull Eagles in his 33rd season. He's been with them a long time, a alumni of Trumbull High School, the class of 1978. And you just look at it, they're 321 wins, a big milestone, but you see the 2 zeros there at the bottom for the FCIAC and CIAC titles. He's been unable to get over the hump with this this Trumbull team, and something that, you know, they've been a powerhouse every year, finishing above 500. The last time they finished under 500 was 2014, but they just haven't been able to really make the late runs, win those semifinal, quarterfinal games, and something that I think head coach Buddy Bray would like to have before he leaves Trumbull, maybe retires.
Coach Buddy Bray with a career 321 wins. He got his 300th win in March of 2019. And if what Damian Andrew tells me is correct, he is the longest tenured head coach in the FCIAC.
That's not surprising. But
I mean, Braden, as we saw in the graphic, you know, 321 wins, 33 years. no FCIAC titles, no CIAC titles. And you just wonder, with some of these great Trumbull teams to come out of Trumbull High School, what went wrong, and will we ever see a Buddy Bray championship?
I think we might, and I don't think it's necessarily what went wrong, but you look at just the state of Connecticut in sports, and I mean,
Barber up and in.
of course, you have the footballs and the lacrosses, and I mean, those sports are really just dominated by a couple few schools, and basketball is the one sport that really, there's a group of teams that kind of dominated, and Trumbull's kind of on the outsiders club looking to try to get in, and they just haven't really been able to get past the first 2 rounds of the state tournament, something they're going to look to try to change this year.
You bring up as Antonio and 1. As we take a look here, Barber going to get called for the foul. Antonio able to contort his body. He's up to 21 now. It's Barber's 4th.
I also think it's interesting. You look at one of his assistant coaches, Matt Landon. He said in an interview what he loves most about coaching with Buddy Bray in his 16 years is this atmosphere he creates. Almost, he called it a Brayism. Just the the great energy he brings and the great knowledge of the sport he brings to this Trumbull team, and something that he's been doing for a long time, and creating a lot of friends and a lot of alumni that come back and still keep in touch with their head coach.
Antonio misses. Barber rebound. But Braden, you brought up this really interesting point about as Dahl gets Elmo to fall, but you bring up this kind of club of teams as Black is going to get called for the moving screen, but you bring up this group of teams, in specifically really in the FCIAC where they are kind of what's known as basketball towns within the FCIAC. Towns like Ridgefield, they just breed basketball players, it seems like. But even towns like Wilton, Staples, teams like that, that is the main group of teams because they start these kids so early and they're playing together so early as Bloomer hits the floor. Timeout called for Darien. A huge hustle play there from Bloomer. As we take a look at that one. Antonio was fumbling with it. Bloomer able to get on it, call the timeout. Darien will take the timeout. But as I was saying, these towns like Ridgefield, Wilton, Staples, I guess Westport really, they breed these teams. I mean, even Fairfield teams with Ludlow and Ward, they have some really good teams. And they start these kids young, and they're playing together when they're really, really young. The thing about, towns like Darien and Trumbull is that they're not specifically basketball towns. And, you have a couple players who are playing with each other since, they were 5, 6 years old. But it's really just a collection of players that they kind of get on, tryout days.
Yeah, it's really something. You just look at the overall school. Darien, of course, mainly a football, lacrosse powerhouse, and have some good hockey teams. And Trumbull, of course, a powerhouse on the baseball field. They got a couple solid fall sports, and it's really something that you get to the winter season. And not many of these athletes, you see them play 3 sports. That's why it's rare when you get the Carson Drake or the Jack Barber that plays 3 sports. And it's something that Darien's really struggled with, since the start of their program, and that's why they've only taken 1 state championship.
Barber going to take it himself. Gets the foul.
Of course, that state championship coming, before our lifetime. I assume might before our parents' lifetime, back in 1958.
Heck, even our grandparents were probably pretty young, maybe high schoolers, maybe a little older than that, but it has been a long, long time.
I need to ask them next time I see the grandparents where they were in 1958, where the Blue Wave took home the Connecticut Class M state championship.
That comes back to my point earlier on about, this Darien team where they're supposed to be a powerhouse, and is this their year to go back to an FCIAC title run? And, is it their year to make a deep state playoff run? But obviously they're going to have to get through teams like a West Hill and a team like a Ridgefield, both of which were in the FCIAC title game last season. It'll be interesting to see how much Miles Drake helps this team down the stretch as Reset misses a 3-pointer there.
Yeah, it is really going to be interesting, and Miles just has that X factor to him that he can just bring the energy on the court and really create that spark plug that the Blue Wave could use.
Foul will be called on Reset as we take a look at the nice little Euro step from Bloomer, unable to get it there. Said it the other night where Bloomer was getting a ton of Euro steps, looking like Manu Ginobili with the Euro step. Obviously, Ginobili made it popular when he came from Argentina. Barber's 5th foul will sit him down.
I think it's interesting they bring back Carson Drake to the floor. He already has 4 fouls, I believe, to his name. So they're going to have to be very conservative with that he potentially is in some foul trouble.
Drake has 4, Barber has 5 as referee gets pegged. That won't get you any calls.
Like I said, it's something that we talked about back in the first quarter is you can't, come out of the gate with 5, 6 fouls, and that's something that Darien did because it sets you up for a long game in foul trouble. And playing that foul game, really.
And it's a thin Darien front court, and by thin, not necessarily the physical size of the players, but just how many players they have. As Dahl will load up for corner 3, that's good. Simeon Dahl's got 26.
Seriously, I don't think he's hit a rim on a single one of his 3-point shots. They're all just smooth, nothing but net shots. And it's just really a test to his game.
Dahl is shooting 50% from the arc tonight. Davis Depp credited with a sweet assist there on the corner 3. And Dahl is feeling it. So we take a look. Depp draws the double team. Corner 3 is good. Woo! Pretty shot.
Brissett going to be charged with the foul, I believe, for Trumbull. And like you said, that's really been something that Darien really needed when Miles Drake was ruled out to start the season. They needed the player, or they needed a player like Simeon Dahl to really go out there, just make the shots and really, keep Darien in these games.
Drake has a chipped sesamoid bone in his foot. I was able to talk to him a little bit today, and how he described it is just his big toe just kind of went under, as a good finish there by Vicente. But his big toe on one of his feet just kind of went under the foot, and he got stomped on it, just snapped like a twig, really. As Drake will get on the board off of the dish from Bloomer. Bloomer with a stat stuffer of a game. Bloomer, 10 points, 6 rebounds, 1 assist, 2 steals. Bit of a stat stuffer. Oh, Simeon Dahl tried to go around the back and gets tripped up by Vicente.
What's interesting there, Brissett fell to the ground, was looking for the foul, didn't get it, so Trumbull was playing the 5-on-4.
Dahl's going to go to the line for 1 and 1. He's 1 of 2 from the line tonight. Misses that one. He was looking for 27, but he remained at 26. Up and in! Timeout, Trumbull. That's Sean Reset as we take another look here. Gets around all these Darien defenders, puts it up and in. And that was a beautiful looking finish. A full timeout will be taken on the floor. We're going to take a timeout as well. We'll be back in a moment.
This broadcast is produced by DAF Media, a joint venture between the Darien Foundation and the Darien Athletic Foundation. The production is staffed by student and adult volunteers from the town of Darien and southwestern Connecticut.
Back here on the DAF Media Network, Darien with a 12-point lead. Certainly doesn't feel like a 12-point lead. The way Darien's been playing, it feels like almost like a 20-point lead. Baseball pass. That's no good. Taped out from Zaslow.
That's your typical 1st and down right there, or 1st and 10. Simeon dropping back and looking downfield for the receiver and just throwing it a little wide out of bounds. But staying with it is Darien.
Here's Depp with it now.
You're going to see Trumbull playing a lot more aggressive now out there, down by 12. Going to start, trying to force some turnovers, if not some fouls. Darien already in bonus, so potentially some free throws.
Right on cue is a turnover. No good. This time it's good. Brandon Fowler. But Braden, that's something we've seen a lot from the Trumbull team, is missing some close shots.
I think that all has to do with Darien, playing as a different team and really intimidating Trumbull. They're already kind of uneasy without Connor Johnston, but then with Darien coming out and applying the pressure really adds to that. It's something they definitely needed to adjust to, and I'm not sure if they really have yet.
Will Zaslow picks up the foul. Bloomer will go to the line for 2. Gets the first one to fall. Darien only 3 made free throws on the night. They're 3 of 12 from the line.
That's something they're still going to have a point of emphasis on in, the practices leading up to their next games.
Bloomer misses the second. They're now actually 3 of 12. They were 3 of 11 a moment ago, and they're now 3 of 12.
Just assuming they were going to miss the shot there, Ted.
As Fowler hits the 3. No, I just kind of put two tick marks down and just kind of forgot when I was adding them up.
Just got to give you a hard time on that.
Only an 8-point game right now. McMullen's going to check in. Timeout taken. It's going to be a 30-second timeout.
It's definitely going to be interesting here coming down the stretch. Trumbull's going to try to play the late game here with, try to get some late momentum because they're still in this game. It's only an 8-point game, but Darien, they just got to keep playing their game, keep with the long possessions, making the crisp passes, and I mean, they have, both teams have a chance potentially to come out of here with a win. Darien with the upper hand with a couple minutes left to play.
That's one of the things we saw in the West Hill game, is that Darien unfortunately just could not play a full 32-minute game. The fourth quarter, they just kind of, the wheels fell off. But tonight, up till this point, they've played a full 30-minute and a half game right now. But again, a minute 34 is still a lot of time left, and it is only an 8-point game. You just have to wonder, is Trumbull, if they get some turnovers, are they going to force bad shots, or are they going to try to go for quick 2s and force more turnovers?
Like I said, that's something that I got to assume is probably a big emphasis, in their huddle there, because that is a big decision they need to make.
Carson Drake gets it to fall. He is hyped up after that one, makes it a 10-point lead with a minute 30 to go.
Once again, that's what Darien needed, that big basket, forcing the air ball then, and then the rebound from Drake.
Give and dish. Look at that. Isaac McMullen finding the streaking Carson Drake. And Carson Drake is turning it on late in this game. He's got 6 in the fourth as Miller responds with a 3. 9-point game.
Miller's just his first basket of the game.
Foul there on Antonio.
I just found it interesting. Carson Drake, after he made that last basket, a big smile on his face. He's having a good time out there, entering the game late and putting up some big baskets for the Wave.
I'm sure it's tough when you've been sitting on the bench most of the game knowing that you can help your team and that you could have exploited a mismatch down low, and you didn't really get the chance to because you got some, maybe 1 or 2 ticky-tack fouls called on you that got you into foul trouble. So I'm sure he's just happy to be in this game, as Dahl will be called for the foul after Depp misses. Depp is 0 from the line after 5 shots. Or actually, the foul is going to be called on Antonio with Dahl going to the line.
And it looks like the scorer's table signaling the 5 fingers up, so someone just fouled out for Trumbull, and it's going to be number 3, Sean Reset.
So the foul is actually called on Reset. He's going to go to the bench. Reset leaves the game with 4 points. And Dahl misses the first. And Braden, you know, you were right. This still has to be a point of emphasis for this Darien team as they take on, you know, a Fairfield-Ludlow team next week on Monday as Dahl gets 27.
I mean, you do see Fairfield-Ludlow on their schedule, and that's going to be a tough game. But you look a little bit ahead of that. They play Bryant McMahon, Harding, and Bridgeport Central over the span of 4 or 5 days. I feel like those games could be a little bit easier for them. They might need to focus more on the free throws and really kind of get the practice in there before they go into a tough Greenwich team, a tough Fairfield Ward, and a tough Danbury team.
Dahl gets the foul called. He's going to go to the line back for 2. He's shooting 2 of 5 tonight. Wants to make it 4 of 7. Fowler, only his first foul.
And he's really, you know, turned it on these last couple minutes, making some late baskets.
Dahl misses the first.
I mean, you look over on the Darien bench right now, and all 3 coaches are all kind of, you know, trying to figure out what's going wrong for them on the free throw line because, you know, they've just not been able to make that many free throws.
Dahl has 28 right now. Another 2-point bucket gets a 30-piece. I wonder if Darien knows he's got 28. But I don't think he's going to get the 30-piece. But regardless, Darien will come out with a win here. A 60-49 win, a convincing win for this Darien Blue Wave squad that needed it. You know, they faced who they've had to face here, but Trumbull and West Hill have been their, you know, 2 of their first real challenges this year. And they come out with a win against Trumbull here. 60-49 is the final score. Simeon Dahl leading the way for Darien with 28. 6 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals. He shot 5 of 10 from beyond the arc.
Yeah, and Ted, it's interesting. So Darien, with this win, they will, as of right now, move into a playoff spot for the FCIAC. And I know it's early, but it's still a good benchmark being 7 games in, knowing that you're potentially in an FCIAC playoff spot. So something the team can definitely be proud of here coming down into their later parts of the season.
So we're actually going to get Simeon Dahl here on camera in just a second. Sim, you all good? You can hear us? All right, Simeon, I believe this is your career high with 28. You know, is the game plan for Darien to run through you, or is it just a matter of your teammates finding you in your spots?
No, we just ran our normal game plan, and I just happened to be in the right place at the right time.
And Simeon, I got to ask, it felt like you guys were playing like a different team out there compared to compared to Tuesday. What did you guys really focus on in practice here to build more of a team atmosphere?
I feel like against Westall we played kind of lazy, and we picked up the intensity a lot more in practice, and paid off today.
You guys play Ludlow in a tough matchup on Monday. What's in store?
I think it's going to be a good game. They're pretty good. We're not going to take them lightly, and yeah, I think we're going to be okay.
Simeon, congrats on the win. 28 points, a career high here, and can't wait to see what's next.
Thank you.
So once again, thank you to Simeon Dahl. It was a great performance, all-around performance. And you know, what did you see from this Darien squad, Braden?
I think as we've been saying all game, they were playing more like a team out there. I mean, West Hill on Tuesday, only 3 players scored, and today just a lot more happened. They made a lot more passes, made a lot more baskets, and this Darien, they were a team out there. And if they keep going out there and doing this against the Ludlows and the other teams they have on their schedule, they could really be a force to be reckoned with, especially if you talk about throwing Miles Drake back into that mix, just adding even more for the Blue Wave. So a big win for them and something they should be very proud of. And like we said, moving into an FCIAC playoff spot, good benchmark, seven games in.
Braden, you talked about it a lot today, is capitalizing, and they capitalized on the absence of Connor Johnston. and we'll see how much that plays into their games coming down the road, injuries, COVID, whatever that may be. But that is going to be it for us. I'm going to give a final shout-out to our production crew, our main camera, Owen White, our ISO camera, Luke Damel, our director, Will Damel, instant replay, Hugh DeMark, graphics, Will Donnelly, our advisor, Damian Andrew, and huge thank you to Braden Shank, my color commentator for tonight.
As always, a pleasure. Pleasure to get back on the mic with you for some old time's sakes.
Once again, I'm Ted Brennan. You'll be hearing a lot more of Braden Shank coming down the stretch. I will not be here as I'm going back to college next week. Tune into my podcast, Press Box Thoughts, on Spotify, SoundCloud, and Google Podcasts. Thank you guys so much. Signing off, Ted Brennan.